Ladies and gentlemen, life doesn't care about your comfort. It doesn't care about your plans, and it sure as hell doesn't care about your excuses. Life is going to throw challenges at you. It's not a matter of if, but when. The question is, will you choose your hard, or will life choose it for you? Every single day, we face choices, the tough ones, the uncomfortable ones, the ones we'd rather put off. And here's the harsh truth. If you don't choose the hard work now, life will hand you a different kind of hard. The kind that forces you to react, the kind that knocks you down when you're least prepared, the kind that leaves you scrambling to catch up and wishing you had made different decisions. But here's the kicker, you get to choose. You get to choose the struggles that lead to growth, to success, to a life that aligns with your vision. Or you can let life choose for you and deal with the mess that comes when you've neglected the things you could have controlled. The hard you choose today will shape your tomorrow. The question is, what kind of hard do you want to face? The hard of discipline and growth, or the hard of regret and missed opportunities? Let's get one thing straight, the alarm clock is not your friend. It's not your mom gently nudging you awake on a Saturday morning. It's not some cute reminder that you can snooze your way into greatness. The alarm clock is a line in the sand. When it goes off, you're either someone who's all talk or someone who's ready to move. Period. Because every time you hit snooze, you're making a decision. You're voting against yourself. You're telling your brain, hey, I know we had goals, but sleep sounds better right now. You're training yourself to be soft. You're building the habit of hesitation. And hesitation kills dreams faster than failure ever could. This isn't about waking up early just to say you did. It's about waking up and doing the hard thing, because life doesn't hand out results to the comfortable. It rewards the consistent. People think motivation is what gets you out of bed. Wrong. You will never feel like it. Not on a cold Monday, not when you're exhausted, not when your brain is screaming, just 5 more minutes. And the truth is that 5 more minutes turns into 5 more days, 5 more weeks, 5 more years of not showing up. You don't need more sleep. You need more purpose. You know why that alarm clock feels like an enemy? Because it's reminding you of everything you said you'd do but haven't done. It's the most honest part of your day. It's the moment where all the talk ends and the action begins. It's a mirror, and most people don't like what they see in it, so they turn away, they silence it. They pretend that bed is still part of the plan. But the only plan that bed is part of is the one where you stay exactly where you are. You want change. You want progress. Then change starts the moment that alarm goes off. That's your first test, and if you're failing that, what makes you think you'll pass anything tougher? Because life will throw bigger challenges than 6:00 a.m. at you. It'll throw heartbreak, disappointment, rejection, bills, sickness, betrayal. And if you can't win the battle with your own blanket, how are you going to fight for your future? Let me be blunt. The alarm clock isn't the problem, you are. You're the one who says they want it, but then stays horizontal. You're the one who dreams big but acts small. You're the one who's tired not from chasing your goals, but from avoiding them. Getting up early isn't a flex. It's a necessity. It's the space where you get ahead, where you build momentum before the world even knows you're awake. You've got 24 hours. Everyone does. The people crushing it aren't better than you. They're not luckier. They're just done negotiating with themselves. They made the decision to own their morning, to take back control, to move even when it sucks. That's the difference. That's the edge. So stop making deals with yourself like, if I get up today, I'll sleep in tomorrow. Stop telling yourself you need rest when what you really need is a reminder of who you said you'd be. And that version of you, the one with the goals, the discipline, the fire, they're not showing up at noon. They're not rolling out of bed with guilt on their shoulders. They're up, they're working, they're moving. Because they decided that greatness doesn't hit snooze. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be up. That's where it begins. That's the first domino. Wake up on time, and suddenly you're doing what you said you would. You're keeping promises to yourself, and the more you do that, the more you believe in yourself. Confidence isn't magic. It's momentum, and momentum starts the second you stop hitting that damn snooze button. The truth is, you already know what to do. You've known it. You felt the guilt after sleeping in, the frustration at the end of the day when nothing moved forward, the regret that creeps in at midnight. So why keep repeating it? Why keep betraying yourself first thing in the morning? If you want a different life, you have to do different things. You have to be the kind of person who gets up not because it's easy, but because it matters. And it does matter. It matters more than you think, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you start your day with strength, you carry that strength. You show up stronger in every room you enter. You bring more clarity, more focus, more intensity, and that adds up. Over time, that compounds. It's not just a better morning. It's a better life. Everyone thinks time is the problem. If I just had a few more hours in the day, I'd finally get my life together. That's the biggest lie we keep telling ourselves, and we believe it because it's comfortable. Blaming time makes us feel like victims. It gives us an excuse. It lets us off the hook. But here's the reality. Time isn't the issue. Discipline is. We all get 24 hours. That's the one thing every single person on this planet has in common. Elon Musk, Oprah, your neighbor, the person crushing it in the gym while you're still in bed, they all live under the same clock. The difference, some people own their hours. Others waste them, excuse them, or scroll them away. It's not about how much time you have, it's about what you do with the time you've got. And that comes down to discipline. Discipline is showing up when you said you would, long after the mood has left. It's doing the thing no matter what, not because it's fun or easy or convenient, but because it's who you've decided to be. You want results. You want that business, that body, that mindset, that freedom. It's going to cost you. And the currency is discipline, not more hours, not some magical perfect time. Just consistent, relentless discipline. Stop acting like time is going to start cooperating with you. It won't. Life doesn't slow down so you can catch up. It doesn't pause while you figure things out. There's no sign from the universe. There's no calendar alert that says, now is the perfect time to become who you said you would be. That moment, you create it. You carve it out. You force it into existence, with action, with grit, with daily, boring, unglamorous, powerful discipline. You're not behind because you ran out of time. You're behind because you ran out of commitment. You let comfort win. You got distracted. You gave into convenience. That's not a time issue, that's a self-control issue. And the crazy part, you already know this. You know what needs to be done. You're just not doing it. And that gap between knowing and doing, that's where the discipline lives. That's where the change happens. Here's the raw truth. You don't need another planner. You don't need another productivity hack or color-coded schedule. You need to get honest, brutally honest. Look at your day. Really look at it. Look at how much of it is going to scrolling, overthinking, procrastinating, second, guessing, and avoiding. That's your time. That's where it went. Not into your goals, not into your growth, but into your distractions. And if you think you're busy, ask yourself this. Busy doing what? Because being busy and being productive are not the same thing. Some of the busiest people are getting nothing important done. They're just filling their day with noise to avoid the signal. Discipline silences that noise. It cuts through the chaos, it says. This is the priority, and everything else waits. That's how progress is made. Not in sprints of inspiration, but in daily, disciplined execution. The life you want, it's not hiding. It's waiting. It's on the other side of the reps you're not doing, the pages you're not writing, the conversations you're avoiding, the decisions you keep putting off. People love to fantasize about the end result, but they forget what it actually takes. It takes showing up when you're tired, saying no when it's uncomfortable, choosing structure over chaos. That's discipline. That's the grind no one posts on social media. Time will always feel like it's slipping away if you keep living without direction. You don't need a longer day, you need a sharper focus. You need to stop letting your feelings set the pace. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline, that's the engine. That's what keeps you moving when every part of you wants to quit. And the best part, it's built, not born. You don't need to be special. You just need to start. It starts with one decision, one no to comfort, one yes to the hard thing, 1 hour spent building instead of wishing, one day where you don't let yourself off the hook. Stack those days, and you become unstoppable. Because discipline compounds, every time you show up, you make the next time easier. Every time you follow through, your belief in yourself gets stronger. And that belief, that's your real power. Fear doesn't always kick the door down, scream in your face, and tell you not to chase your dreams. That would be too obvious. It's smarter than that. Fear slips in quietly. It dresses itself up in logic, in being practical, in just being careful. It doesn't sound like a scream, it sounds like your own voice, whispering reasons why now isn't the right time. Why you should wait. Why you should gather more information. Why you should stay safe, stay hidden, stay small. You tell yourself you're being rational, that you're just thinking things through, that you're just not ready yet. But the truth is, it's fear pulling the strings, fear telling you that comfort is safer than growth, that certainty is better than risk, that the unknown is too dangerous to step into. And because it sounds like logic, you believe it. You tell yourself, I'm not scared, I'm just being smart. But deep down, you know you're stalling, you know you're hiding. Think about how many times you've talked yourself out of something that could have changed your life. A move you didn't make, a conversation you didn't start, a risk you didn't take, not because you didn't want it, but because you talked yourself out of it. You made a list of reasons. You ran through every worst case scenario. You convinced yourself you needed more time, more experience, more credentials. That wasn't logic. That was fear wearing a mask. Fear's favorite move is to make you overthink, to analyze everything to death, to build a mountain of what-ifs so high you can't see over it. What if I fail? What if people judge me? What if I lose everything? So you stand still. You say you're waiting for the right moment. But that moment never comes because fear makes sure it doesn't. It convinces you that inaction is safety, that staying still is being responsible. But what it's really doing is keeping you stuck. Fear will use your own intelligence against you. The smarter you are, the more creative fear gets. It'll give you data, charts, statistics, opinions. It'll pull out your past mistakes and play them on repeat like a highlight reel. It'll point out every flaw, every weakness, every possible failure point. And because it sounds so reasonable, you trust it. You forget that the most dangerous lies are the ones you tell yourself. That business you didn't start. Fear told you it wasn't the right time. That relationship you didn't pursue. Fear said it might not work out. That big move you didn't make. Fear said it was too risky. But when you strip all the excuses away, when you get brutally honest, the truth is simple. You were scared. Not wrong, not unprepared, just scared. But fear convinced you that staying where you are was the logical choice. People think courage means not feeling fear. No, courage means recognizing fear and moving anyway. It means hearing the voice in your head telling you to stop and deciding to go. Fear isn't something you outgrow. It's something you outwalk, step by step, choice by choice. You don't need to silence fear, you just need to stop letting it pretend it's your wisdom. Because let's be real, fear's logic is always one-sided. It never tells you what might go right. It never reminds you what you're capable of. It never mentions that every successful person you admire once stood exactly where you're standing, scared, unsure, unqualified, and moved anyway. Fear will never tell you that. It's not here to protect your future. It's here to protect your comfort, and comfort is the enemy of growth. Sometimes the scariest thing isn't what's in front of you, it's what's inside you. That internal battle between who you are and who you're trying to become. Fear knows that. That's why it targets your mind. It wraps itself in logic so you don't fight it, so you accept it, so you believe that playing small is smart and waiting forever is wise. But deep down, your gut knows better. Your gut is louder than fear if you stop long enough to listen. If you want to grow, if you want to evolve, if you want to actually live this life instead of just existing through it, then you have to start calling fear out. You have to learn to recognize when it's not logic talking, it's your comfort zone throwing a tantrum. The longer you let fear dress up as reason, the longer you'll stay stuck in the same place, calling it being realistic. When really, it's just self-sabotage in disguise. Perfection is a lie. It's a trap. It's a shiny cage that looks like ambition, but it's actually fear dressed up in a tuxedo. Perfection says, don't move until it's flawless. Action says, move and fix it as you go. One of them keeps you stuck. The other one builds momentum. One looks impressive, but does nothing. The other one might look messy, but it actually gets things done. And that's the difference between the people who talk and the people who build. You can sit around all day making perfect plans, mapping out the next 6 months, highlighting your planner, watching tutorials, thinking, analyzing, reworking. You can make it look productive. But if you haven't done anything, sent the email, made the call, written the page, lifted the weight, launched the thing, it's not progress. It's procrastination disguised as preparation. That's what perfection does. It convinces you that waiting is wisdom, that the delay is smart, that you're just not quite ready. That's a lie. Look around. The people making moves, they're not perfect. They're messy. They screw up. They adjust. They adapt. They hit publish when it's not 100%. They post the video even if the lighting sucks. They pitch the client even though they're nervous. They show up with what they've got, and that action, that consistent, imperfect action, that's what wins. Because you learn faster by doing. You grow faster by failing forward. You find your rhythm by moving, not by thinking about moving. The truth is, perfection is just fear in makeup. Fear of judgment, fear of looking stupid, fear of failing, so you wait, you tweak, you hold back, you stall, and every time you do, you lose time, you lose energy, you lose opportunities. Waiting for perfect is just another way of staying safe, of staying hidden. But guess what? No one's coming to crown you for perfect plans. They reward execution. They reward results. And results come from movement, not mastery. People think success is about having all the answers. It's not. Success is about taking action before you have all the answers and trusting that you'll figure it out along the way. That's how momentum is built. That's how confidence is built. Not by waiting until you're fearless, but by moving while you're scared. Action rewires your brain. It proves to you that you're capable, that you won't break, that you can handle more than you thought. But perfection will rob you of that. It will tell you to keep polishing, keep planning, keep waiting. It'll whisper, you only get one shot, better make it count. That's garbage. You get thousands of shots. You get to learn, adjust, and shoot again. The problem is, most people never take the first one. They wait for the perfect conditions, and those conditions never show up. Because they don't exist, they never did. The perfect time is a myth. Perfect version is a moving target. The only real thing is right now. Take the shot, launch it ugly, say it out loud, mess it up, get the feedback, fall on your face if you have to, but move. Because while you're trying to perfect the idea, someone else is out there testing theirs. And they're learning 10 times faster than you. They're not smarter, they're not better. They're just brave enough to move while you're waiting. That's the gap. That's where winners are made, not in talent, but in tolerance for being seen in progress. You want clarity? Start doing. You want confidence? Stack reps. You want growth? Get uncomfortable. Stop obsessing over the version of you that has it all figured out, and start becoming the version who isn't afraid to get their hands dirty. The version who builds in real time. The version who learns by doing instead of sitting on the sidelines, rehearsing a perfect performance that never happens. That book you haven't written. You're not short on talent, you're just scared it won't be good enough. That side hustle you haven't started. You're not short on time, you're just worried about looking like a beginner. That content you keep overthinking. You're not short on ideas, you're just chasing a level of polish that doesn't even matter. The raw, real human stuff, that's what connects, that's what moves people, and it only shows up when you do. Perfection wants you frozen, action wants you free. One gives you the illusion of control. The other gives you actual power, because every step you take, even the ugly ones, is a step away from fear and a step toward progress. You don't need perfect, you need movement, you need volume, you need to ship, post, launch, show up, try, fail, learn, repeat. That's how it's done. That's how everything real is built. You can either choose your hard or life will choose it for you. And let me tell you, life's version of hard doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't check your schedule. It doesn't care about your comfort. Life's hard is the kind that hits you when you're unprepared. It's the kind that comes without warning and knocks you flat on your back, forcing you to react when you're already drowning. But here's the truth. You don't have to wait for life to choose your hard. You can take control. You can choose your struggles before they choose you. Here's the deal: hard is inevitable. You can't escape it. You can't avoid it. There's no perfect life where everything falls into place and all your problems go away. Hard is just part of the equation. The difference is, you get to decide which kind of hard you want to deal with. You get to decide whether you're going to struggle with discipline, consistency, and hard work every day, or whether life will hand you the kind of struggle where you're trying to pick up the pieces after failure, regret, and missed opportunities. If you choose your hard, you're taking control. You're saying, I'm going to do the work now, even when it's tough, so I don't have to deal with the mess later. You're choosing to push yourself, to show up when you don't feel like it, to put in the effort when it's uncomfortable, because you understand that the struggle you choose now will pay off down the road. It's the heart of building habits, setting boundaries, making sacrifices, and being disciplined when you'd rather give up. It's the hard that feels difficult in the moment, but leads to growth, success, and peace of mind later. But if you let life choose your hard, it's a different story. Life doesn't care if you're prepared. It doesn't care if you're ready. It will throw obstacles your way: job loss, health problems, relationship issues, financial instability, and you'll be left scrambling. That's the hard that doesn't come with rewards. It's the kind of hard that leaves you stuck in a hole, trying to dig your way out of a situation that could have been avoided if you'd made the tough choices earlier. The consequences of letting life choose your hard are often messy, painful, and exhausting. And the worst part, those struggles don't come with the clarity that the struggles you choose bring. You won't look back on them with pride, saying, I'm glad I faced that. You'll look back with regret, wondering what might have been if you'd made different decisions. But let me make this clear: both kinds of hard are going to be tough. The question isn't whether or not you'll face struggle. The question is, which kind of hard will you choose? The hard of doing what you don't want to do today so that tomorrow's rewards are worth it, or the hard of constantly reacting to life's curveballs, never feeling prepared and constantly dealing with the fallout of not having taken action when you had the chance. We all have the choice. It's not always easy to choose the hard that requires discipline, focus, and sacrifice. But it's the kind of hard that pays off. If you choose to get up early to work on your goals, to learn new skills, to push through when it's uncomfortable, that hard will pay you back in ways you can't even imagine. You'll build strength. You'll build confidence. You'll look back one day and realize that the hard work you chose was the foundation of the success you now enjoy. But if you keep avoiding the work, if you keep putting off the difficult tasks, if you keep delaying the decisions that will make your future better, life will eventually hand you a harder version of reality. And when it does, it's a lot harder to fix things when you're already knee-deep in a crisis. You'll look back and wish you had chosen your hard when you had the chance, when the consequences were smaller and the stakes weren't as high. Choosing your hard doesn't mean life will suddenly become easy. It doesn't mean there won't be days when you're exhausted, frustrated, or ready to quit. It just means that when things get tough, you'll be prepared. You'll be in control. You'll know that the struggle you're going through is one that you chose, and that gives you power. You can deal with the hard that comes from the choices you make, because it's a hard that's leading you to where you want to go. You'll feel empowered by the progress you're making, even when it's tough, because you'll know it's taking you closer to your goals. But when you let life choose your hard, it's different. It's chaotic. It's reactive. It's the kind of hard that drains you, leaves you scrambling for answers, and steals your peace. It's the kind of hard that takes away your freedom and your options. The power is in your hands. You can either choose your hard now or let life choose it for you later. But understand this, the hard you choose today is the hard that will shape your future. Make the hard choices now, and you'll thank yourself later.